His head is spinning. He is desperate to figure out exactly what is going on. Then he spots the crowd. Fear kicks in as he stares at the massive group of strangers, wondering who they actually are. One thing is for sure, this definitely is not his home. Suddenly, a sharp, pulsing pain shoots through his skull. He thinks his memory is finally returning. This is Xiao Lin, a recent graduate. Before finding a real job, he made money by leveling up gaming characters for other people. With every single victory in the game, he felt a mix of pure satisfaction and exhaustion. After logging off, he would just flop onto his bed and start scrolling through his phone. It drove his dad crazy. He would yell about having a useless son, so Xiao Lin finally left home. He had to prove he was not a loser, he just had not found a job in his field yet. He was determined to show everyone they were dead wrong about him. Then, everything changed. He had only been moved in for 2 days when a mysterious letter appeared. Out of nowhere in the middle of the night. He did not expect a thing, but the moment he tore that strange envelope open and looked inside, a bizarre, glowing power suddenly swallowed him. Congrats, he was officially a freshman at Dawn Academy. His identity verification was already finished, and a forced teleportation was about to begin right then and there. No turning back now. Back in reality, Xiao Lin's head still throbs. He realizes that weird letter was a trap. He has been kidnapped and dragged to this insane place known as Dawn Academy. Suddenly, some guy walks up. He asks if our hero is finally awake, mocking his weak physique for being out for 3 hours. He literally asks if he went into hibernation. Others start panicking, screaming at the top of their lungs. They want to know where they are and if they have been abducted. The guy who woke him up clearly hates all the loud noise. He quickly draws his sword. Channeling energy into the blade, he lets out an attack that whistles past the crowd, smashing into the back wall. He bellows, asking what is with all the racket, and then demands that every single person there shut their mouths. As everyone gets nervous, the guy keeps yelling. He wonders why every freshman class has these idiots, asking if the admissions office is just sleeping on the job instead of actually working. He points out that because someone woke up late, they have already wasted a ton of class time. Because of that, he is going to keep this briefing as short as possible. He explains this is Class 7 of the first year at Dawn Academy, and he is their instructor. Chinchuan. They are the chosen ones who must train hard to boost their strength and level up. Only then will they earn a spot in the new world. In that place, they can find ultimate power, massive wealth, and even the secret to eternal life. It is the chance of a lifetime. The crowd is stunned. They wonder if this guy is insane and what he means by a new world. Chinchuan turns back, tells them to hold on to their badges, and announces that their potential assessment starts right now. Xiao Lin looks around and sees at least 200 other people. This is not just a regular kidnapping. He wonders if he is even on Earth anymore, especially with that new world talk sounding like some weird alien immigration plan. As the first student steps into the assessment machine, our main character starts to wonder if this is going to be just like checking character stats in a video game. Then the assessment ends. The instructor notes that the student has a total attribute score of 24 points. Next, a beefy guy scores 32 points. Chinchuan says that is actually a pretty decent amount. But when a woman is tested, the instructor snaps. He calls her average, saying only 1 or 2 stats are decent. He vows to complain to the director so admissions stops recruiting people from the trash heap. Right then, it is finally time for our main character to be evaluated. His test is taking way longer than the others. He starts to worry, remembering that everyone else finished in 6 or 7 seconds. His has been going for nearly a full minute now. What could be the holdup? Chinchuan just grins while waiting for the results to pop up, until it finally finishes. Xiao Lin starts to step out, but the instructor tells him to hold on. He needs to check the data. Since it took so long, he is curious if some kind of rare treasure appeared. However, he is absolutely stunned by what he sees on the screen. His stats are 2 in strength, 2 in agility, 2 in intelligence, and 13 in constitution. Chinchuan's face falls. He sighs, noting the kid only has 9 points in total attributes. He facepalms and shouts that in all his time at Dawn Academy, he has never seen such trash stats. It is literally the first time he has seen a student start with a single digit. Xiao Lin hates hearing that, but he tries to act like he does not care at all. The instructor admits he thought a gifted student had finally arrived, but his expectations were crushed. He makes it very clear to him, our hero is nothing more than a useless waste of space. Hearing that word immediately reminds him of everyone who used to call him the same thing. He gets angry. He realizes that since childhood, no matter where he went, he was always labeled as useless. He wonders if he can ever escape that title, even in this bizarre new world. Qin Shuan picks up an ID badge, muttering that with stats like these, giving it to the kid is a complete waste of time. Before the instructor can even finish, Xiao Lin lunges forward and snatches the ID badge right out of his hand. He makes it clear that a number does not decide his worth. No matter what the instructor says, he is going to give this his best shot anyway. Qin Shuan says the boy has a big mouth, but he is fine with it. He will just wait for reality to slap him. Right then, a girl asks for permission to speak. She wants to know what this innate talent the instructor mentioned actually is. Qin Shuan explains it is a gift from the heavens and a total guarantee of survival in the new world. But as for them, he thinks they should focus on actually passing the entrance exam first. Another girl walks up to the instructor. She heard him say the academy offers massive wealth and power. She wants to confirm this and asks what the actual price is for those things. Qin Shuan checks her data and sees her name is Xiao Yue. She has the highest initial attribute points in the whole group. It is a pity she does not have a special talent, but he answers her question anyway. He says credits and exchange points are the universal currency here and can be traded for anything they want. She just nods and says she understands. The MC watches her, wondering how someone so refined ended up with the highest attributes. Even the instructor is being polite to her, which means he has high expectations for her future. Qin Shuan tells the group that if they want to check their stats, they just need to think about it. Xiao Lin holds his ID badge and focuses on checking his current attributes. A system window pops up with all his info. He sees his physical and magic attack stats are a measly F rank. His natural life expectancy is 83, but at 23 years old, he only has 60 left. The kicker: every time he is eliminated, 10 years get shaved off automatically. If his life hits 0, he is gone forever. Xiao Lin is absolutely floored by this news. He is not the only one. Everyone starts panicking and shouting, wanting to know if this is some sick joke. They want to know how they are even supposed to track their life expectancy. However, Xiao Lin spots something very strange. A system notification flashes, reporting that an abnormal fluctuation was detected. A hidden talent is being unlocked, and the analysis is starting right now. He is totally confused about what is happening here. He looks around at everyone from side to side. He realizes the people around him did not hear the same voice. It hits him he is the only one who can hear it. But he sees the name of the talent is unknown. It is not in the database, and the power level is currently unlisted. After that, the system breaks down the talent. His learning ability is now through the roof. The passive effect improves the efficiency of all skills to 100%. The active effect gives him a copy ability, allowing him to duplicate any skill equivalent to an F rank. The effect lasts 3 minutes, but talent-specific skills cannot be copied. This ability can only be used once every 7 days, though the data will improve as he levels up. The system emphasizes there are no records for this power, so he has the right to name it himself. Xiao Lin starts questioning, what would be a good name for this? Until he gets a great idea. He decides to call it Top Student. The system locks in the name Top Student and begins evaluating the official power level of his new talent. Seconds later, the system classifies the talent as double S rank. The MC is completely stunned by such a massive rating. He quickly turns back around, seeing the instructor yelling at others. He realizes even Qin Shuan's high-level scan was unable to detect his hidden talent earlier. Excitement kicks in. With a double S rank talent, he finally has a real trump card to help him survive from now on. A few minutes later, a freshman asks about the lifespan rule. He only has 9 years left on his clock. He wants to know if dying once means he is just deleted instantly. The instructor smacks him, calling him a total moron. He confirms that if you have 9 years left, one death means game over. But he still thinks they all hit the jackpot by being here. In the real world, you lose a year every year. If you die, it is over. Here, life is a currency. By clearing missions and getting stronger, you can actually earn more life. He says the academy is their chance to change their destiny. Power, wealth, and even living forever are possible if they earn enough credits. Theoretically, eternal life is actually on the table. Xiao Yue asks if this rule only counts inside the academy, or if it works everywhere else. Shuan says the rule applies the moment they become students, even back on Earth. Then he shouts that he is done waiting. The admission test is going to start immediately. He snaps his fingers, telling everyone to stand perfectly still and not move a single muscle. A notification pops up. The countdown for the teleportation is officially starting now. The freshmen do exactly what the instructor told them. The MC waits, and soon everyone is warped away. Chuan sighs, disappointed that this batch seems to have 0 talent. His instructor evaluation score is going to tank this year. Suddenly, he hears someone laughing. A voice greets Chuan. Another instructor, puffing on a cigar, brags that his class had 2 talented students, 1A rank and 1B rank. Chuan mentions he has a kid with over 40 attribute points, but the other guy just scoffs. High stats do not matter without talent. He even mentions a rumor about a double S rank freshman in the Eagle Country. Chuan brushes him off, saying that rumor was debunked ages ago. He knows there is no record of a double S rank in the central database, meaning they do not exist. Meanwhile, the freshmen land in a smelly goblin lair. Xiao Lin covers his nose. He opens his menu and sees the test has begun. The main mission is to escape the forest in 1 hour. He also has optional goals to kill 5 goblins and take down the Goblin King. Escaping pays 10 credits and 100 exchange points. Finishing the first optional mission gets him 10 credits and 200 points. Finally, taking out the Goblin King nets him 20 credits and 500 exchange points. Right then, every freshman gets an exclusive starter pack containing a random weapon for the test. Next, the system announces there is no elimination penalty for this entrance exam. Everyone celebrates since their lives are not on the line. Lin opens his pack and finds a novice staff. It is only F rank for magic attack, but it comes with the energy ball skill. This move drains a bit of mental power with each use. Immediately, a notification pops up. Lin has unlocked basic magic wand proficiency, starting at level 1. He is ready to see what this beginner gear can actually do. He studies the staff, realizing items have unique skills and XP. It feels exactly like the RPG games he played back home. Thinking fast, he decides to test the energy ball skill. He aims his staff and blasts a nearby rock. The system alerts him that he gained a XP in wand proficiency. Lin is hyped. Using the weapon actually builds skill points. He realizes his outstanding student talent gives him a massive edge. With that passive bonus, his skill evolution speed will be twice as fast as anyone else in the class. Suddenly, a sharp pain shoots through his head out of nowhere. A system alert warns that his mana is too low to cast another energy ball. Lin sighs, realizing his base stats are pretty weak. His mana bar is just too short for spamming spells right now. Nearby, a student brags about unlocking heavy sword proficiency, gaining 1 XP per swing. Lin listens, confirming that using specific weapons unlocks related skills. He thinks that if mindless swinging was all it took to farm levels, he could just stay here and grind before starting the mission. It would be an easy way to get ahead of the competition. Watching the others, he realizes aimless swinging is a waste. You need proper form to actually gain experience, and the physical toll is huge for most people. Plus, the mission timer is ticking. It was clearly designed to stop students from just camping out and farming XP in one spot all day. He figures his best bet is switching to a physical weapon to maximize his leveling speed and save mana. Just then, Xiao Yue approaches and asks if he wants to trade weapons. She admits she is not a gamer, but she knows magic costs something, like mana or mental energy. She guesses this probably ties back to their high intelligence scores from the medical exams they took earlier. She points at his staff, saying it would be a better fit for her. To be honest, Lin does not look like the wizard type at all. Lin recognizes her but wants to be sure. "Are you Gur Xiao Yue?" he asks. She nods yes, but she really just wants to know if he will trade weapons. Lin hands over the staff, warning her that casting spells takes serious precision. He tells her she better watch her aim when she is out there. Once they swap, Lin gets a novice dagger and unlocks basic dagger proficiency. He gives it a quick spin, thinking it feels way more natural. He gets an idea while watching Xiao Yue study the staff. If he wants to ace this admission test, finding a solid partner is the way to go. Deciding to go for it, he turns around and calls her name. But the guy with the heavy sword cuts in front, asking Xiao Yue to team up with him first. The big guy mentions her stats are the highest in class, but brags that his are impressive too. He insists they should form a partnership because of that. Pointing at Lin, he sneers that a weakling like him cannot compare to someone as strong as Wang Dalin. Lin is annoyed. High stats are not everything in this game. Xiao Yue looks thoughtful. She turns around and tells the meathead she has zero interest in becoming his partner. The other students burst out laughing, calling Wang Dalin a total reject. He gets flustered and angry. There is no way he is just going to take this. He glares at Lin with a look of pure hatred. He stomps over, shoves Lin's shoulder, and barks out, "What are you looking at, idiot?" Dalin snaps that just looking at a useless loser like Lin pisses him off. He says it is bad enough being dead weight, but pretending to be smart is worse. Lin calmly explains that passing this exam comes down to individual skill. He suggests the big guy quit picking fights and save his energy for the actual mission ahead of them. Dalin grabs Lin by the collar and yells, How dare you talk back? I will show you what real power looks like right now. Lin just chuckles, noting that it looks like the big guy will not get that chance after all. He says that because an angry goblin is charging straight for the big guy's back. It slashes Dalin right across the face with its sharp claws. Blood sprays from the cuts as the big guy screams in agony. But the goblin does not stop. It charges him again. This time, Dalin fights back and takes the monster down. Looking at the dead goblin, he mutters that things almost got really ugly for a second. He turns and points at Lin, asking if he was really laughing. Did you think a weak goblin could actually take me out? Suddenly, Dalin hears a noise. He looks back and sees dozens of glowing eyes in the woods. A whole pack of goblins appears. The freshmen start screaming in terror. They struggle to block the creature's vicious attacks, but some are already falling. It does not take long for the entire place to descend into total chaos. Lin parries a blow and realizes the sensations he is feeling are definitely real. Right then, another freshman girl gets saved from an incoming attack on the left. Xiao Yue just finished testing out her staff skill. Our main character takes down the goblin he was fighting. Looking around, he realizes that while the world is just virtual data, everything else feels real. He was naive to think this was just a game. Without experience, even with weapons, these regular people are just sheep led to the slaughter. It is nothing like a video game. A freshman points ahead and yells for everyone to look. He notices the goblins are not attacking anyone inside the cave and thinks it is better if they all run for cover there. Lin watches as the panicked freshmen bolt for the cave. It looks like the cave actually is a safe zone. But he knows the remaining protection time in that cave is almost up. He grips his sword tight, telling himself to stay calm and analyze the whole situation. He cannot just sit around and wait for elimination. He decides to test a move with his blade, gaining 2 experience points in his basic dagger proficiency. Looking at his weapon, he confirms his theory. Correct posture and full strength are the keys to gaining experience. Since his stats are low, every strike needs to count. He has to get as used to the weapon as possible before the real fight starts to maximize his growth. A bit later, the freshmen realize the cave protection is expiring and start to panic. One guy says the admission test mission is impossible. Another shouts that long-range weapons are useless because those goblins are just too fast to hit. Meanwhile, Xiao Yue is just sitting. She is watching our protagonist train hard. He looks totally exhausted. Xiao Yue walks over and tells him his training is pointless. According to her math, leveling up that equipment skill at normal efficiency takes at least 1 hour. There just is not enough time in this mission to find a shortcut like that. Lin thinks she is pretty sharp. While watching her, he agrees with the math. It really should take about 1 hour to reach level 2. But thanks to his outstanding student talent bonus, the rules are a bit different for him. His system progress bar shows that he is actually already almost at level 2. He thanks her for the heads up, but says he is just getting the hang of things. He then asks if she has any intel from watching the goblins outside. She is shocked and asks how he knew she was observing them. Lin says it is just like a video game. Before you pull a monster's aggro, you always read the guide first. Xiao Yue simply comments that she does not play video games. Our MC says he could tell, then gives a slight cough to change the subject. He notes that the goblins they have seen are pretty weak, roughly at level F. Their defense is very low, and their vitals are the head and chest. He believes that if they just overcome their fear, a one-on-one fight really would not be that hard. He points out that the mission itself is not hard, but everyone's fear is making things way more complicated. Looking at a freshman girl trembling with fear, he makes it clear that if they lose their courage now, they will lose any chance of winning. Xiao Yue notes there are only 2 minutes of protection left, and it is time to move. The MC agrees, saying they cannot spend the whole time just trying to run away. Suddenly, Dalin steps in front of them, demanding to know where they think they are going. The big guy asks Xiao Yue to party up with him again. He points out that with their high attributes, they could take down anything, but bringing the MC along would just slow them both down. She says reaching the safe zone for the mission is easy enough. The real challenge, and much bigger rewards, lie with the Goblin King. Dolan yells that the Goblin King is just an optional objective. That boss hasn't even shown up yet. He tells her she should focus on the basics like surviving before she starts worrying about completing some hidden mission that might not even matter. Lin joins in, saying that if the mission exists, it must be possible to complete. If the king hasn't appeared yet, there must be a trigger. It could be time, how many students are left, or even the total number of goblins they have eliminated so far. Xiao Yue argues that time can be ruled out. The school wouldn't leave them only a few minutes to fight a boss. The number of students probably doesn't matter either, which means the only trigger left is the number of creatures defeated. The MC guesses that once they clear a certain percentage of the goblins, the boss will finally spawn. That trembling freshman girl asks them to wait. She wonders if just finishing the mandatory mission is enough. Why risk fighting a boss when the regular goblins are already terrifying? Lin explains there is actually no penalty for failing this test, but the potential rewards for winning are truly massive. If everyone only keeps thinking about running away, it would be a total waste of a great opportunity for every single person involved here. He asks if they really think earning credits with zero risk will always be this easy after they get into school, since they have a chance to score more credits and exchange points right now. He wants to know why they wouldn't just go all out and try. The freshmen start to find their courage. They agree that since there is no penalty for being eliminated, it really is worth a shot. But Dolan asks if they are really going to listen to a failure like the MC. In his head, he is the one carrying the team with his 32 initial attribute points. Xiao Yue tells him 32 points is barely better than a regular person. The big guy hates hearing that and asks just how high her own attributes actually are. She takes a deep breath. She points her staff at him and says her initial attributes are 46 points. She then asks if he can shut his damn mouth. Dolan looks at the staff and stays silent. Meanwhile, the MC is shocked by her stats. He knows that number is actually 5 times higher than his own attribute points. Xiao Yue steps into the middle of the crowd. She makes it clear that if they want to pass and earn extra rewards, they must follow her orders. Only by uniting can they help each other complete their missions as much as possible. She calls Dalin over and says that since his stats are high, he will be responsible for drawing goblin attention on the front lines. He hates taking orders, but eventually gives in and says he understands. Xiao Yue shouts that long-range fighters must stay back. Everyone needs to form groups of 3 in a basic formation. Watch each other's backs, finish the mission, and take out every single goblin you can find. After that, she turns around to ask what the MC is planning to do. He cuts her off, saying he will stay mobile and cause chaos. He plans to finish off any escaping goblins with low health. Since his stats are low, he knows he has to avoid a head-on fight if he wants to survive this test. With that, the whole group heads outside the cave. Dolan wastes no time. He charges straight ahead, tearing through the front line of goblins. The archers in the group stay at the back. As soon as the goblins get close, they let arrows fly, stopping the monsters in their tracks or taking them down entirely. But one goblin manages to dodge the arrows and lunges straight for a terrified freshman girl. Suddenly, the MC jumps into the fray and scores his very first monster kill. The girl gasps in relief and thanks him. Lin knows he has to keep this up. Don't fight head-on, save his energy, and just wait for the perfect moment to deliver a final blow. Sticking to the plan, he keeps moving through the chaos. He always appears at the very last second, securing one elimination after another with ease. One student watches the MC closely, noting that he only has single-digit starting stats. Yet he always seems to strike when the monsters are at their absolute most vulnerable. Meanwhile, Dylan just scoffs, thinking the guy is getting lucky by only picking up the leftovers. Xiao Yue knows it isn't just luck. She realizes the MC is somehow staying out of the goblins' line of sight and predicting their every move before they even make it. He in turn receives 6 experience points and basic dagger proficiency and levels the skill up. He thinks about how lucky he is to have grinded that VR game for 2 months straight. Without that hardcore training, there is no way he could have landed those finishing blows with such insane precision. Then, a system notification catches him off guard. The system informs him that according to the database verification, he is the very first student in this freshman batch to reach level 2 in a skill. Based on the reward policy for freshmen at the Dawn School, a skill compatible with his current ability will be granted for free. The skill in question is Heavy Strike, which has a learning requirement of a strength attribute equal to or greater than 1. The weapon requirement is any physical melee weapon. The description says that after a brief buildup of strength, he can deliver a more powerful strike that scales with his strength value. However, using the skill repeatedly will accelerate energy consumption, so it is best to wait at least 1 minute between uses. Lin is hyped. Not only did he level up, but he scored a new skill too. He realizes there is only one goblin left to take down to finish his first optional mission. Just then, another goblin hits the dirt after taking a heavy hit from an attack. The MC does not hesitate. He finishes off the creature and completes optional mission number 1. He lets out a long sigh of relief. Suddenly, all the remaining goblins start to vanish. Dalin shouts, demanding to know what the hell is going on. A voice announces that the number of goblins has been reduced by 1/3. Fulfilling a hidden condition, the Goblin King will appear soon. It does not take long before the massive boss emerges right in front of everyone. The boss takes a deep breath and lets out a deafening, ear-piercing roar. The students cover their ears and scream, feeling like their eardrums are going to explode. Lin and Xiao Yue stay on high alert. They are facing the Goblin King, the terrifying boss of the entrance test dungeon. The MC studies the boss carefully. He realizes this is why all the other goblins vanish. The students start to panic. The Goblin King's health bar is massive compared to theirs. They wonder how they can possibly defeat something so terrifying. Some students drop their weapons and scream that they are running for it. The MC yells at them to stay put and not scatter in every direction. He remembers that these specific goblins have a very small field of vision, but their sense of smell is the opposite, and their hearing is razor sharp. As soon as the king hears someone move, he spins around and glares right at one of them. Dolan starts sweating nervously. He shouts, asking why they are scared when they have the numbers. He leaps forward to attack the Goblin King, but the boss just swings his arm and smashes right into him, slamming him hard into the dirt. The impact deals some massive damage to Dalin. He is immediately eliminated and removed from the entrance test. Seeing this, the other freshmen lose it and start running blindly across the battlefield. It is easy pickings for the boss. He stomps on them with his massive feet and then swings his heavy club, taking out two students at once. The shockwave from the ground hit sends one girl flying backward. She is totally defenseless against the Goblin King until a magic blast hits his arm. While the giant tries to figure out what happened, the freshman girl takes the opening and bolts. That distraction was exactly what she needed to escape. Xiao Yue looks disappointed. She sighs, realizing she missed her mark. Hitting his limbs barely does anything. If she wants to take him down, she knows she has to aim for a vital point next time. The plan was simple. The team distracts the Goblin King while the ranged attackers pile on the damage from afar. If they had just worked together and managed their mana, this boss fight would have been an easy win for the whole group. But looking around, she sees the truth. It is over. Their formation is gone, and total chaos has taken over. Xiao Yue stands frozen right in front of the Goblin King. The monster does not hesitate for a second and winds up his next attack. She hears the main character yelling at her to stop being an idiot and run. Suddenly he lunges forward, slashing his blade across the boss's massive body. This makes the giant furious. It swings its massive club at him, but he expertly dodges the blow. While backing away, he analyzes the situation. Based on the behavior he just saw, this boss prioritizes whoever is standing closest to it. He yells to the hiding freshmen that the smaller goblins are dead. Now it is just the boss. He tells them not to panic or draw aggro, just stay back and keep hitting him from a distance. If they can pull this off together, he believes they can finally create a real opening to finish this fight. Terrified, the girl with the bow agrees to try. The main character then calls out to Xiao Yue, telling her to find an opening to blast the boss since she hits the hardest. Both girls steady their nerves and let loose. Their combined firepower slams into the Goblin King, finally dropping his health bar below 50%. The giant's massive club clatters heavily onto the ground. The archer girl shouts in relief that it looks like their plan actually worked. Lin knows this is great news, but he yells to keep up the pressure. Suddenly, the boss goes berserk and lets out another ear-piercing roar. But this time, he raises his giant fist high. He slams it down with pure rage. The impact shatters the earth, sending jagged rocks flying everywhere like deadly projectiles in every direction. He screams a warning, but it is too late. A massive stone hits the archer girl directly, eliminating her from the trial on the spot. The Goblin King stands back up. Lin and Xiao Yue brace themselves for the final showdown. She turns to him, her voice trembling, asking if they even have a chance now that they are the only two left standing. Lin asks about her mana levels and how many energy balls she has left to cast. Xiao Yue grips her staff tight, admitting she only has enough juice for maybe 2 more shots. Lin tells her that is enough. If they hit the boss in the head, the critical damage will be massive. She just needs 1 clean shot. Xiao Yue worries she will miss, though. The monster moves way too fast, and her aim is not exactly perfect yet. Lin makes it clear, if the king is too fast, he will just have to find a way to make him stop moving. With that, he finally activates his top student talent. He sees that the Goblin King has a shockwave ability that hits everything within a 5-meter radius and stuns them for 3 full seconds. As he starts sprinting toward the beast, he remembers how everyone used to mock him and call his special talent completely useless. But now, as he copies that same shockwave ability, he realizes that his time to shine has finally arrived. He charges headfirst straight at the massive creature. The boss reacts by winding up its own shockwave. Lin watches the boss prep the attack. The giant has to slam both hands on the ground, but Lin's version triggers the moment his blade hits something. Because of the height difference, He knows his skill will definitely activate much faster than the king's slow, heavy slam. It is all about timing. He quickly activates the copied shockwave ability and counters the Goblin King's move head-on. The two skills collide, creating a massive, bone-rattling impact wave. The Goblin King is blasted backward, just like the main character. Catching his breath, he smiles. His theory about the timing was spot on. But the boss is already charging again. He knows he cannot span the shockwave because it has a 30-second cooldown. Suddenly, a massive explosion erupts. The Goblin King howls in pain after an attack shreds his hand. Xiao Yue shouts that she is almost out of mana and only has one shot left. She is shocked, though she cannot believe he actually interrupted the boss's skill when his stats are supposed to be so weak. The king does not stop, though, and grabs a huge boulder. Lin starts to sweat. He is way too close to the boss to dodge a hit like that, and his shockwave skill is still on cooldown. He needs a miracle, and he needs it right now. Suddenly, he gets a crazy idea and starts to feel excited. The Goblin King strikes, but instead of dodging, he takes the hit directly with his arm to block the blow. Xiao Yue panics, watching the protagonist get smashed. She screams out, desperate to know if he is still alive. Once the dust clears, Lin shouts back that he is okay, even though he just lost a whole arm in that brutal exchange. With 7 seconds left on his shockwave cooldown, the Goblin King charges up for his next massive ability. The MC slides between the monster's legs, realizing that staying low messes with the boss's center of gravity. Only 3 seconds until shockwave is ready. Lin pulls back his sword, preparing to strike with everything he has left. The second the cooldown hits 0, he slams his blade into the dirt, unleashing the full power of his shockwave. The Goblin King was standing right there, so the blast hits him dead center with massive force. Lin spins and shouts for Xiao Yue to seize the opening right now. She moves instantly, firing a massive energy ball straight at the Goblin King's ugly head. That final hit drains the boss's HP to 0. As the monster fades away, the system announces that the creature is gone and that optional mission number 2 is officially complete. The MC drops his sword as his grip fails. His vision blurs and he passes out from pure exhaustion. While lying in the dirt, he worries he failed the mission to reach the safe area in time. Before everything goes black, he sees Xiao Yue sprinting his way, calling out to see if he is okay. Meanwhile, in another part of the academy, the directors and instructors are holding a serious meeting. The director puffs his cigar and reviews the freshman test scores. He reports that out of 1,360 students across 12 classes, the results are in 560 hit level F, 450 reached level D, and 200 made level C. Only 83 hit level B, 52 made level A, and a mere 15 students earn the coveted S rank rating. Hearing this, the instructors begin whispering among themselves in shock. One instructor notes that to rank S, a student must clear all 3 missions and actually survive. Another wonders if this year's freshmen are just built different, or if there are just more talented kids this time around. One teacher mentions having 2 talented students, and the person next to him has 2 as well. But only level B. The director points out they have 13 total talented students this year. The best quality class in a decade. He is proud, but Xuan is frustrated. Tapping his desk, Xuan asks if his class is the only one without a single talented student. The director hears him out and mentions that while Class 7 has no talented kids, they actually broke school records. First, the talentless students from the same class pulled an S rank together. Second, they broke the record for the highest intelligence attribute ever seen at Dawn Academy, while also setting the record for the lowest overall attributes. Xuan is stunned. The director adds that the craziest part is those 2 opposite records came from the same 2 students in Xuan's class who actually earned the S rank. Just then, the system announces the entrance exam is over and the teleportation back home is starting up. All the freshmen are warped back to safety. Many are stoked to find out that every injury they took inside the dungeon has totally vanished. Lin doesn't waste a second. He checks his stats and sees he got an S rating, along with 40 credits and 800 exchange points. He is confused about how he reached the safe zone after passing out, but then he sees Xiao Yue teleporting and wonders if she carried him there. Suddenly, the archer girl who was scared in the dungeon runs up. She thanks him, saying she never would have gotten an A rank without his help. She looks embarrassed, calling herself useless since the boss's area attack took her out at the end. She is dying to know how he and Xiao Yue actually managed to take down the Goblin King. After she was gone, Lin takes a breath and confirms they finished the job. The girl laughs, saying she knew they would pull it off. Suddenly, Dalin shows up and yells for the MC. He claims it was all just pure luck, saying if the MC hadn't leashed off Xiao Yue, he would have died 800 times. Xiao Yue walks up to Lin with a very serious look. She tells him she needs to talk about their dungeon battle in private immediately. The two of them head somewhere quiet. Lin brings up the safe zone and thanks her. She insists it was just for mutual benefit to get the best rewards. She adds that if he hadn't stunned the Goblin King and made that opening, she never could have landed the finishing blow. Lin realizes that this girl is incredibly smart and calculates every single move. Still, she notes it should have been impossible for someone with his stats to stop the boss. She knows he has secrets, but promises not to pry and will keep his secrets safe if anyone asks. Lin breathes a sigh of relief and thanks her again. Xiao Yue pulls out her ID card. She found out the badge's AI has a chat feature and suggests they add each other as friends to stay in touch. She explains that if he just thinks about the AI, he can open up his basic control panel. They both focus on their badges. Xiao Yue asks for his registration number, and he tells her it is to 01235. A second later, she sends the request, and Lin hits accept right away. The system confirms they are friends. Suddenly, Instructor Chuan appears, screaming for everyone who failed with an F grade to get out and head to the front gate. He tells the remaining students to stop standing around, open their maps, and move toward the central field immediately. Chuan glances over and spots the MC and Xiao Yue talking alone in the corner. Next, he tells Xiao Yue to step a bit closer. Lin checks the map and sees the central field is near the public classrooms. After that, they will have to cross the main courtyard area. He is curious, though. Is the instructor targeting Xiao Yue because of that S-level evaluation? Or did he actually spot something else entirely? Once at the central field, the MC is shocked by the growing crowd. He wonders if this mass disappearance will cause a scene. Then he spots Xiao Yue and checks if she is okay. She promises she didn't spill any secrets or say anything wrong. Suddenly, a voice cuts through the noise, screaming for everyone in the crowd to move aside right now. One guy shoves his way through while another yells for the freshmen to stay in their class. Formations. The second that guy with the bowl cut walks up to the device. He greets the students and introduces himself as the student council president. He explains the director is running late, but in the meantime, he wants to officially welcome everyone to the academy on behalf of the entire school. All of a sudden, a massive roar caught the MC completely off guard. Everyone looks up at once and spots a massive dragon heading straight toward them. Lin is stunned. He can't help but wonder if that is actually a real dragon. The giant beast lets out another terrifying, bone-shaking roar. That settles it. It's a real dragon, no doubt about it. The MC's body just freezes up, and he can't move a single muscle. Xiao Yue is shaking like a leaf. She realizes this fear is pure instinct, making it almost impossible to breathe near such a beast. Then, the dragon finally touches down on the ground. The old man says he's sorry for being late. He explains that some things came up on his way over. This is the director of Dawn Academy himself. The student council president tells the director that his entrance was maybe a little too dramatic. The old man snaps back. He asks if the kid really thinks he chose to ride a giant lizard just to show off. He glances at the dragon, explaining he had to rush back from somewhere far away. Since he was short on time, he had to hitch a ride on the beast to get there fast. He didn't expect the dragon to get so worked up and start scaring the students. He looks the creature in the eye and warns that if it pulls that stunt again, he will skin it and turn it into a new sofa. Meanwhile, the MC is shocked to see the director. He thought he was the only one allowed to witness his own incredible talent as a freshman. Then, the director tells the crowd he's reviewed the entrance exam results and that their talents are actually looking pretty impressive. He says all this, but then he quickly glances to the side. The MC is caught off guard when he realizes the director is staring right at him. Just then, the old man slams his staff onto the ground and activates a powerful amplification spell. He mentions he should probably introduce himself first, but he figures they don't really care about his name right now. He knows many were brought here under weird or even annoying circumstances. So, he asks them straight up, "Are you guys feeling pretty irritated?" If they are, they should blame the guy he's pointing at. It's all on the admissions department. They purposely pick the worst times to send out acceptance letters. Because of this, he's going to make a new rule when he gets a chance. From now on, admissions must happen during the day, because waking people up at night is just plain annoying. Hearing this, the freshmen start laughing and agreeing with the director. He tells them that's enough joking for now. He promises to answer the two biggest questions on their minds: who exactly are they? And what are they even doing here? The director tells everyone to listen up. He explains that those at Dawn Academy are colonizers. He says the world they're currently in is called Planet Norma, which is also known as the New World. The main goal of Dawn Academy is to train the ultimate vanguard of colonizers. Norma is the world they will go to, fight for, and eventually conquer. The director makes it crystal clear. The scripted lives they used to live ended the very second they opened those acceptance letters and joined the school. From this day forward, a general might rise among them to lead legions and expand their territory. Or maybe a great archmage will emerge to master the laws of reality. Someone might even become a leader who dictates the rules of this new land. He promises that strength, knowledge, power, and even immortality, all the treasures of this new world will finally be within their reach. To wrap things up, he announces a brand new rule. Usually, freshmen are strictly banned from entering the new world. But starting with their class, the top 3 students from the first semester exams will earn the right to enter the new world, ahead of schedule. As soon as he says that, the student council president speaks up. He argues that this involves the safety of the freshmen and thinks the director should really reconsider his decision. The old man turns around with a very serious expression. This terrifies the student council president. He starts thinking, maybe he said way too much. But the director says that's enough. He doesn't want to talk about it anymore and officially declares the meeting closed. The MC thinks the president's reaction was a bit over the top. He wonders what could be so dangerous about the director's new rule. Still, he knows his main priority right now is using the academy's resources to get as strong as he possibly can. Then, the MC hears a voice calling out, asking him to wait a second. He turns around and realizes it's Instructor Chuan. He asks if something is going on. The instructor takes a breath and explains the rule. The top performer on the entrance exam becomes class rep, but for some reason, Xiao Yue refused the position. Lin's confused and wants to know what any of this has to do with him. Chuan explains that since Xiao Yue refused, the job falls to the MC. He warns him that being class rep comes with extra credits, resource quotas, and special perks. For someone weak like the MC, these are a total lifeline. There will be another election after the 3-month exam, and if he misses out now, he won't get another chance later. Right then, Lin gets a system notification. It says Instructor Qin Chuan has officially appointed him as the interim representative for first year class 7. The instructor walks off, saying he's done. He mentions the AI will send over the freshman manual and stresses that the MC better actually read the whole thing. Lin starts wondering what kind of special perks the instructor was talking about. Later at the dorms, the person in charge, who sounds a bit weird, tells the MC that doors lock at 7 p.m. and open at 6 a.m. He's warned that if he doesn't sleep in his own room, he's going to lose credits. Then, something completely catches her off guard. Seeing she is talking to the class rep, her whole face changes. She says it is impressive, but the main character admits he is just an interim rep who was basically forced to take the job. She laughs and tells him not to be modest. In her eyes, a class representative is a big deal. Because of that, she offers to help him grab his gear and pick out a room. She tosses him some clothes and explains it is his uniform. The colors change every year. Second-year students wear blue, but since they are just starting out as freshmen, they will be wearing green. Next, she shows him to his quarters. It is a single room, a special perk just for the interim representative, while the other freshmen have to bunk up in doubles. She hands over the access control and explains that his ID badge handles everything from shopping to class attendance. She warns him right then, and there do not lose it. Once she has finished the tour, she finally introduces herself as Zhang Ting. She tells him if he ever has questions about school or life on campus, he should just add her and ask anytime. Lin laughs and thanks her for being so kind. Before heading out, Zhang Ting reminds him to be very careful when choosing his classes. Lin notices she got way friendlier the moment she saw his title. He figures this must be one of those student privileges Chuan was talking about earlier. Looking around, it is obvious this academy has a brutal class system where power is everything. But for now, he really needs to focus on his first real task, picking his subjects. He shuts his eyes and focuses on pulling up the course grid. The system displays the basic attributes: swordsmanship, saber skills, fist techniques, archery, and meditation. Then come the secondary ones like body technique, perception, balance, focus, tenacity, movement, blocking, and evasion. The mandatory subjects are the history, language, and geography of the world of Norma. Lin is totally shocked by the massive amount of coursework. He knows there is no escaping the mandatory classes. He has to pick 1 combat skill and 3 secondary attributes. He tells himself to stay cool even with all these subjects. He still has his overpowered freshman talent. He realizes his low attributes are a major weakness, so he needs to level them up fast. Thankfully, his passive learning buff is a huge advantage he cannot afford to waste. He picks basic swordsmanship for combat because it is versatile and easy to learn. Then he adds body technique for survival and meditation for focus. After confirming his choices, he reminds himself that strength is the only thing that matters here. The next day, he heads to the training field to start practicing. Our hero is training hard, racking up experience points in basic swordsmanship. He realizes that, just like using a dagger, the power of a sword swing comes from the waist, not the wrist. With his freshman talent active, his learning speed is boosted by 100%. He keeps pushing himself, knowing that if he masters this key technique, his strikes will get even faster. A few minutes later, the system alerts him that his basic swordsmanship has hit level 3. His strength attribute also jumps from 2 to 3. It took 30 minutes to hit level 2, and an hour for level 3. That is twice as fast as normal. This confirms his theory that leveling up skills boosts his core attributes. He collapses to the ground, gasping for air. He is completely spent, and it feels like his arm might actually fall off. Suddenly, a sword slams into the dirt nearby. Someone scoffs that this year's freshmen are even weaker than expected. Looking at his pathetic level, the stranger wonders why he even bothered joining this class. This is Chung Na, a third-year student, and the substitute teacher. She tells the freshmen to listen up. She warns them that if their swordsmanship does not reach level 3 by the end of class, nobody is going home. One student actually starts crying, complaining that he never would have picked this class if he had known it would be this hard. Another student gripes that hitting level 2 alone takes hours of nonstop practice. Meanwhile, the main character walks right up to the teacher. He tells her he has already hit level 3 and needs to leave early for his next class, which is basic meditation. Chung Na looks him over. She notes that class has not even been in session for 2 hours. Yet he is claiming he hit level 3 already. He insists he is not joking. She asks if he is that lucky kid, Xiao Lin, with the single-digit stats who got an S grade by being carried. She tells him if he wants to skip, he needs a better excuse. She asks if he honestly thinks this is her first day teaching rookies. Lin tells her the data panel does not lie. If she does not believe him, she can just check it. She just laughs. She unleashes her power across the field, and the system announces she has activated her advanced teaching privilege. Suddenly, the All Lines training simulation begins to open up. The main character is totally baffled by what is happening. The teacher suits up and tells him that instead of looking at boring stats, they are going straight to real combat. The environment shifts instantly. A voice welcomes them to the All Lines combat simulation field. As he tries to process his surroundings, Chung Na explains that this is the ultimate training space. The academy built it by extracting the laws of the world of Norma at an insane cost. Suddenly, she is right next to him. She tells him that he will not actually die in here, but she warns him every sensation will be 100% real. She explains that opening this field cost a massive amount of points, and she has invested a lot into the session. As armed skeletons charge at him, she calls him a brat. She tells him if his swordsmanship is really level 3, then he should have no problem proving it in a real fight. She sits back and mentions that these skeletons are about as strong as the goblins from his novice test. She makes him a deal. If he clears this dungeon, he can leave class early today, and will have the privilege of leaving early whenever he wants in the future. Lin dodges the first strike and gets ready. The system tells him his mission is to survive for 40 minutes, or take out 20 skeleton soldiers. Lin starts to worry. He never imagined his teacher would go this far and open a whole dungeon just to test him. He accepts the challenge and grips his trusty iron dagger. He watches the skeletons closely, realizing there are 2 different ways to beat this. Dodging another strike, he knows the first option is to stall for time. The second option is to just kill them. He charges forward and slashes a skeleton right across its neck. But he sees the creature is not down for good yet. He strikes it one more time, finally taking down the first of 20 skeleton soldiers. He figures out that hitting their weak points takes them down into hits. That means 19 more skeletons and 38 strikes to go. From a distance, the teacher is surprised he actually charged in. She thought he would be terrified, apologize immediately, and beg her to end the simulation. Looking closer, she realizes his footwork, the way he leans into his strength, and his strike angles are all solid. His form is actually impressive. His movements are clean, his judgment precise. She realizes he is way better than those fools who just swing their swords blindly. His only real problem is that his base stats are terrible. However, seeing how determined he is to beat her dungeon mission, she wonders if he took both swordsmanship and meditation classes just to boost those stats. But the second he starts to struggle, she knows it is a shame. It is a noble dream, but every physical body has its limits. Even so, Taking down 13 skeleton soldiers with those weak stats is a total miracle. Right now, Lin has to survive for another 28 minutes to finish the first mission and wipe out 7 more skeletons to wrap it all up. Then, a massive blow hits him from behind. The sub stands up, thinking he needs to quit and face reality. But instead of falling, the main character jams his sword into the dirt to keep himself upright. He spins around with a look of pure determination. Finally, he unleashes his heavy slash technique, taking out 3 skeleton soldiers in one go. The substitute teacher is shocked. Seeing him use a heavy slash makes her wonder how he even learned a skill like that. Lin stays focused, tearing through the skeletons until only one of them is left standing. A moment later, he finishes off the 20th skeleton soldier. Taking a heavy breath, he looks at the teacher and tells her he did exactly what she asked. But then he just collapses from pure exhaustion. Chung Na is stunned. She needs to know what is up with this kid. Earning an S grade on the entrance exam definitely was not just a stroke of luck. Meanwhile, over in the student council office, an assistant tells the president that all the files for the S and A grade freshmen are organized. He tells her she did a great job and asks her to just leave the documents on his desk. But she mentions there is one class schedule he really needs to see. The president looks up and asks if there is some kind of problem. The assistant explains that one student made a bizarre choice with his classes. She wants the president to see it because this freshman, Xiao Lin, literally picked every single class available to him. The student council president is floored, asking if she is actually serious. Later, at the Dawn Academy infirmary, he demands to know what happened to the kid. The substitute teacher snaps back, yelling that she didn't trash him on purpose. How was she supposed to know the president needed to talk to him? She was busy teaching, after all. The president fires back, making it clear that this isn't the first time she has treated a freshman like this. She hates that and asks if he has a problem with how she teaches. The president sighs and says that is not what he meant. He tries to explain again that these freshmen just got here, and there is really no reason for her to be so aggressive with them so early on. Chung Na looks at the boy and makes it clear that because they are novices, she has to be strict. To her, being merciful to these kids is the real cruelty. The student council president goes silent. The substitute teacher turns away so she does not have to look at his face anymore. Then, the main character groans and wakes up. As he sits up, he immediately asks if he is in the infirmary. The president says yes and explains the room has everything he needs. But he warns him that after leaving a holographic simulation, your physical and mental energy doesn't just reset like a normal dungeon. He heard the kid fainted from pure exhaustion, so he wants to know how he is feeling right now. Lin rotates his arm around and says he feels much better, though his muscles are still pretty sore. The president thinks that is great and tells him that if he rests just a bit longer, he will be back to 100%. With that settled, the president asks the sub to leave the room so he can talk to Xiao Lin in private. She is not happy and yells, wanting to know on what grounds she is being told to leave. Even though she is annoyed, she decides to do what the student council president asked. She turns around and walks out. Then she stops halfway, looks back and calls him a brat. She yells that she keeps her promises and that his early leave privilege has been approved. She tells him not to say she didn't warn him. People who try to train magic and martial arts at the same time never have a happy ending. With that, she storms out and slams the door shut. Lin thinks to himself that this senior might not be the violent dinosaur everyone says she is. Meanwhile, the student council president clears his throat to get the boy's attention. He asks if Lin skipped reading the freshman manual. It clearly states in there that taking too many elective subjects at the same time is definitely not recommended. He explains that things like swordsmanship and martial arts all belong to the physical department, but meditation and spells fall under the magic department. These two systems have totally different growth paths. Training both magic and martial arts has its perks early on, letting you handle more combat scenarios, but it is a massive undertaking. As things progress, each department branches into countless paths. By your second or third year, training both means you will have to invest triple or even 7 times more energy than everyone else. Lin tells the president that he already knows all of this, which leaves the guy pretty confused. He explains that if you compare these classes to a tree, the higher you go, the more the branches split and thin out. Training magic and martial arts together takes way more dedication, but he still really wants to give it a serious shot. He believes that with the bonus from his outstanding freshman talent, he is sure he will be able to pull it off. The student council president watches the boy for a brief moment, until he spots a fresh message from the director just popping up. One look at the content, and he is totally caught off guard. He stands up, agreeing with the main character's point. Since the director personally approved those class choices, he's staying quiet from here on out. Before heading out, he tells Lin his schedule needs a total overhaul. You'll get the new one by tomorrow morning at the latest. Lin nods, thanking the student council president for the heads up and the solid advice. Still, he's suspicious. How did that message arrive so perfectly? It feels like someone's watching his every move. He wonders if it's because of his double S-level talent, or if something even bigger is going on behind the scenes. Cut to later that day. Inside the director's private office, a figure flickers into view, asking why the director looks so depressed. It's the Dawn Academy central control system, and she's demanding an explanation because she's looking for a little bit of fun. The old man sighs, noting she's clearly been obsessed with Planet Blue's anime culture lately. She fires back, asking if that isn't the big trend on Blue Star right now. She thinks it might actually help them recruit more freshmen. He reminds her she's the Academy's top secret AI. Only a handful of people even know she exists, so she really doesn't need to be following human trends like that. She pouts, grumbling that the director hasn't had a sense of humor for over 100 years. She shifts gears, asking if this year's crop of freshmen is really that underwhelming. Why the long face? As far as she's concerned, they've got a student with dual S-level talent. So, shouldn't he be happy about that? The director sighs, explaining that a normal person's total attributes usually only add up to about 10 points. He points out that the Academy's minimum entry requirement is 20 points. Yet, the Xiao Lin kid only has 9. He is as average as they come. The central system chirps back, asking why that's even a problem. He clarifies that talent is only detected after someone is admitted, meaning Lin should never have gotten an acceptance letter at all. The system laughs it off, suggesting the admissions office messed up and accidentally found a genius. The director turns, snapping that a mistake like that is exactly the issue. He reveals that he just double-checked the records. Turns out, there's zero evidence in the system of an admission for anyone named Xiao Lin. The director continues, noting there were 1,360 admissions this term, but only 1,359 letters are actually registered in the main computer. He stresses that nothing like this has happened since Dawn Academy opened. As the main control program, he figures she's the one who should know what's going on. The Academy's central AI goes silent, thinking things over for a moment. She walks over, telling the director that 1,360 letters were sent out. This semester, with 0 errors, the old man gets dead serious. He demands she pull up the specific admission letter for student Xiao Lin immediately. The AI looks a bit embarrassed, admitting that while she'd love to cooperate, the director doesn't actually have the clearance to view that specific letter. He's absolutely stunned. It's just a simple admission letter. How could the director himself not have permission to see it? The central AI confirms that's the case, adding that even she's surprised by the restriction. The old man grows quiet. He takes a deep breath, deciding to let it go for now. However, he uses his highest level of clearance to order an encrypted backup of every single freshman admission letter from this year, excluding any that are currently blocked by those special permissions. The AI agrees and tells him to wait while she starts the encryption process. Momentarily, she reports that 1,359 manageable admission letters have been secured. Only the director and those with even higher clearance can view or change them. Now, however, one single file is still totally blocked. The encryption failed because that specific file is under a special, high-level protection status that remains active. With that done, she asks if he's trying to hide exactly who that missing admission letter actually belongs to. He says yes, explaining that he's planning to head back to the New World tomorrow morning. He makes it clear that once he's gone, he doesn't want random people meddling in that kid's development. He reminds her that the Academy's future is in her hands now, so she needs to step up and work even harder. The AI agrees, wishing him a safe trip. The next day in the cafeteria, Zhang Ting is totally shocked. She asks if Lin was really the guy who fainted in the first class and caught the president's attention. He says yes, but wonders how the news spread so incredibly fast. Zhang Ting sighs, saying he was super unlucky since Senior Changya is terrifying. Lin laughs, admitting the senior has a pretty intense presence. He then changes the subject, asking if only teachers can open the holographic simulation field. Zhang Ting says no, and asks if he's even checked his class representative perks yet. Those perks include things like viewing basic student info, managing the class group, and even approving requests from classmates who want to use the holographic simulation field. She adds that a class rep can also submit their own request to use the field without needing anyone else to sign off on it. Lin pulls up his system window, asking for a walkthrough. Zhang Ting points out a special section with the request option. He can submit a request in student mode right there. Once the Academy's AI gives the green light, the entrance to the simulation field will finally pop open for him. Lin thanks his senior, telling her he's found exactly what she's talking about. Zhang Ting warns him that since he's only a freshman, his request will probably get shot down immediately. But right then, Lin spots a new notification on his screen. It's an approval. Zhang Ting literally spits out her juice in shock. She demands to know how that's even possible. When she tried, her class rep had to wait 3 whole weeks for a response. She's never seen special treatment like this before. She explains that the simulation field is usually for second-year students. Plus, it costs at least 500 exchange points to open. You only get those points back if you actually pass the trial. If you fail, those points are gone for good. Lin realizes he's only got 800 exchange points left. He knows failing just isn't an option here. Then he recalls the director's words. The top 3 scorers on the general exam get early access to the new world. He also remembers Instructor Chuan saying the class rep gets re-elected after the exam. And he definitely hasn't forgotten Wang Dalin calling him a piece of trash. He knows Xiao Yue is the strongest in Class 7, followed closely by Wang Dalin. If Dalin takes over as class rep, he'll never let Lin use the simulation field again. He has to power up before the exam, no matter what. Lin says goodbye to his senior, who asks if he's off to class. He nods and heads out. Zhang Ting watches him go, thinking he really is a hard worker. No wonder he landed the temporary class rep spot. Cut to the physical training room later. Liang, a freshman from Class 6, is baffled. He asks how Lin became the rep with such pathetic stats, wondering if his instructor has finally lost his mind. Suddenly, someone crushes a water bottle with total violent force. It's a furious Wang Dalin. He says he looked into Instructor Qin Chuan and found out all these teachers are just repeaters from last year. He figures a rookie who couldn't even make it to sophomore year has the same trash judgment as Xiao Lin himself. He slams the bottle onto the ground, complaining about how Lin keeps training solo after class. Plus, Xiao Yue actually dared to look down on him. He swears that sooner or later, he's going to teach her a lesson she won't forget. Liang asks why they should wait 3 months for the exam when they could just teach Lin a lesson right now. Dalin is interested and asks for details. Liang mentions he knows a sophomore in the discipline department. Since breaking school rules cost precious points, he's already cooking up a nasty little plan. Meanwhile, Lin is hitting the treadmill, racking up experience points for his physical aptitude. He finally stops, totally exhausted. His physical aptitude is still at level 1, and he's 82 points away from hitting the next rank. He checks the clock. It is almost 7 p.m. With curfew looming, he heads for the door, calculating a 10-minute dash back to the dorms. He thinks he can make it. Training every day after class is finally paying off. At this rate, his physical stats should hit level 2 by next week, giving him the edge he needs to survive this academy. But the second he tries to grab the door handle, something feels totally off. He yanks it again, wondering if some jerk locked him in from the outside. Lin keeps rattling the handle, annoyed that someone would just lock up without checking if anyone was still inside. When the door won't budge, panic sets in. Curfew is minutes away, and he might be stuck sleeping on the floor. Suddenly, the lights cut out, leaving him in pitch black. He spins around, trying to catch any movement in the dark. Seeing nothing, he shakes it off with a nervous laugh, just a jump scare. The lights probably just turned off on a timer. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Chen Yu, a second-year discipline rep, asks if a freshman class leader is really out breaking rules tonight. Hansen, another discipline member, confirms the report came from Liang Ziwei in Class 6. Apparently, it is true. Since a student leader is openly defying curfew, Hansen suggests they hand out a severe punishment to set an example for the rest of the new students. We cannot have freshmen thinking they are above the law. Chen Yu notes that with the director away from the academy and the student council president busy with bigger issues, the discipline department has to step up and keep things tight. As the acting first-year representative, he insists that any freshman drama or rule breaking cannot be tolerated. Hansen claps in agreement as they reach the training grounds. Hansen plans to head inside alone, keeping in mind that Liang handles the spying while he handles the actual law enforcement. While unlocking the training room door, Hansen realizes that since the new kid is a temporary class leader, he must have banked a ton of exchange points already. It is the perfect chance to extort some serious money. But when he swings the door open, the room is totally empty. Surprised, he shouts, asking where the kid went. Chen Yu asks if something happened. Hansen, feeling embarrassed, mumbles that he swore he heard a noise and thought someone was hiding in there. Meanwhile, our hero is dead silent, pinned right behind the door the rep just opened. Hansen looks around, insisting he was sure someone was there. Chen Yu points out the door was locked from the outside, so nobody could possibly be inside. He tells Hansen he must be hearing things. Even more embarrassed now, Hansen claims it must have been an auditory hallucination and suggests they just move on with the patrol, while Hansen fumes over the empty room. Lin seizes the moment to slip out and disappear into the night. After sprinting for a few minutes, Lin stops to catch his breath. That was a close one. Freshmen are strictly banned from being out at night, and getting caught means losing precious points. But something feels off. He was just locked in, and then the discipline squad immediately showed up to inspect the room. It feels like way too much of a coincidence. He starts to wonder if this is a setup or if he is just being paranoid. Then, something stops him cold. He is staring at two moons. He remembers the director saying the academy was modeled after the normal world. But does this new world actually have two moons in the sky? Lin keeps moving. He cannot go back to the training room now, so his top priority is finding a safe place to spend the night. Just then, a massive creature nearby lets out a heavy, bone-chilling breath. The sound sends a wave of terror through him. He is standing right in front of that massive dragon the director used at the opening ceremony. Now he is really worried. The dragon unfurls its wings and glares straight at him. Lin does not stick around to chat. He turns tail and bolts before the beast can snatch him up. He glances back, wondering why it is not chasing him. He has zero interest in becoming a midnight snack for a giant lizard. Up ahead, he spots a massive house. He decides to duck inside and hide there until things cool down. Passing through the gate, he looks back, expecting the dragon to follow. Instead, a weird noise catches his ear. He finds himself in a massive garden where a creepy-looking rooster is strutting around. Where even is he? He stares in disbelief at a giant cabbage growing nearby, while the sweet scent of glowing fruit fills the air. He turns his attention back to the rooster, which looks weirder the longer he stares at it. Still, the bird actually looks pretty tasty. It is making him seriously crave some roasted chicken. Apparently, the rooster does not like being stared at like a meal. It shoots a blast of fire right at him, and he has to dive to avoid being toasted. The bird charges again, but suddenly someone reaches out and grabs it firmly by the neck. Lin demands to know who this guy is. The stranger ignores him, instead asking what class he is in. He wants to know why Lin is out stealing his chickens instead of sleeping in his dorm. Like a good student, both of them fall silent for a moment. But Lin is not backing down. He still wants to know who this guy is. He finally introduces himself as Song Junlong, head of the logistics department. He is offended that Lin would invade his turf without even knowing who he is. While choking the rooster with a weird look on his face, he calls Lin a bold freshman. It has only been 2 days, and he is already breaking every school rule in the book. Since Lin scared his prized chicken, he wants to know how he plans to pay for the trouble. Lin apologizes immediately. He explains that he only ended up here by mistake while trying to outrun the dragon outside. He had no plan to break the rules and offers to tell the whole story of how he got stuck. He explains that he was working out in the training room, but when he tried to head back for curfew, the door was locked. He had to hide inside just to avoid getting busted by the discipline department officers on patrol. After finally escaping that room, he ran right into that massive dragon and bolted here so he would not get eaten alive. Junlong tells him to chill out. That giant lizard won't attack him here. Besides, he figures Lin looks so weak that the dragon probably would not even bother wasting the energy to eat someone like him. Hearing that is a major blow to Lin's ego. But then he stops, stunned that the logistics head just called the terrifying dragon a giant lizard. Junlong says that being locked in the training room sounds like a classic dirty trick from those brats in the discipline department. Lin is shocked. He asked if Junlong is actually saying this was a setup. He explains that exchange points are the only currency that matters around here. You need them for equipment or even just to activate the simulation fields, or to trade for rare resources from the new world. Everything costs a ton of points. He knows the discipline kids love playing these legal games. They set people up to break rules just so they can shake them down privately. He reminds Lin that these credits determine if you level up or get to enter the new world at all. Then he adds that since Lin does not want to lose official points, he can just hand over a few hundred exchange points as a personal fine. Lin hates hearing this. It is a total cheap shot. He knew Wang Dalin was trouble, but teaming up with the discipline department, that is a whole new level of dirty. He definitely did not see that coming. Junlong calls the MC. As he walks up, he points out that breaking curfew and sneaking into logistics will tank Lin's points. He asks if Lin agrees, and honestly, the pressure is real. Lin is starting to sweat, feeling the weight of the department head staring him down right now. Sudden knocking at the gate cuts them off. Junlong says it is the discipline squad, and they are definitely hunting for the MC. They never check logistics, so this is targeted. He asks if he should just open the gate and let the kid take his punishment right then and there. It is a tough spot, and Lin has to think fast about his next move. Lin speaks up, telling the senior that he shared way too much intel on the discipline department, just to be friendly. There has to be a real reason behind all those tips. He says the MC is pretty sharp, and that he did not waste his breath talking to a total dummy. Then he hits him with a random question. Does the MC know how to cook? Lin is totally thrown off. What a weird thing to ask. Thinking back, he says he might know a bit, but in reality, his only experience is binge-watching cooking tutorials and YouTube videos. He has never actually touched a stove or cooked a real meal in his entire life. John says the basics are fine since he is not picky. He promises to handle the discipline squad outside so the MC does not lose any points. It sounds like a great deal, but there is one catch. The MC has to do him a small favor in return for the help. He grips the chicken tighter and says he has been dying for some clay roasted chicken. He tells the MC to take the bird he is holding and get to work on the recipe. Lin is shocked. He asks if Mr. Junlang is actually being serious right now. He lays it out. The MC has two choices. Either go out and face the music, or stay here and roast that chicken while he takes care of the guards at the gate. Lin laughs and decides to start cooking the chicken. John gets a creepy look and says let the record show the kid is doing this by choice. He definitely did not force him into any weird cooking favors. Lin agrees, saying it is totally his own idea. But deep down, he has a really bad feeling about how this whole chicken situation is going to turn out. Junlang points to the house and tells the kid to hide inside. He needs to stay quiet, while the senior deals with the annoying discipline department members outside. Lin thanks the senior and bolts for the door. Outside, Chen Yu and Hansen are waiting. John sees Chen Yu and mocks him for being such a busy second-year leader. He asks what the discipline department's golden boy is doing at logistics in the middle of the night. Did he just get hungry and come out looking for a late-night snack? Chen Yu claims they were on patrol and saw the director's mascot acting up. They wanted to check if some troublemaker had caused a major incident. Seeing the chicken, he mocks the logistics head for wasting time on nonsense. Junlang fires back, asking if they even figured out why the director's dragon was upset yet. He does not want people thinking they are meddling in his business because they cannot handle their own. Hansen snaps that the logistics wing is still part of the academy. The discipline squad can inspect any sector, and they suspect a freshman is currently out of bed. He says Junlang has no right to stop them. Junlang's face goes cold. He stares at Chen Yu and asks when a low-level lackey from the department got the right to open his mouth and interfere with him. He reminds them that he knows about all the shady stuff they do behind the scenes. If they keep bothering him, he will file a misconduct report with the director for trespassing on logistics property. Hansen is furious, but Chen Yu steps in and tells him to knock it off. He tells Song Junlang that he only knows how to hide behind the director's name. Everyone at Dawn Academy knows the truth. His actual power ranking does not even hit rank C. He is basically just talk and no muscle. Without the director's recommendation, his weak stats would not even get him into the second year. There is no way a guy like him should be running a whole department. From his hiding spot, the MC hears Chen Yu calling Junlang a talentless hack who only got the job through connections. He says Junlang has no right to lecture them on school rules. Lin can tell that Chen Yu has a massive amount of hate for senior Junlang. It is getting intense.